Good morning, this is Faith at Faith and Books. Let me block the sun for you. Man, it's cold out again. It's 47 degrees on June 1st in Virginia. That's crazy. I really think that's cool for this time of the year. Anyway, this is going to be a quick video. It's going to be my June TBR. So first, I'm going to show what I'm reading now, and we'll continue to read into June. Today I have to finish up my my classic spin reading. I mean, maybe I was supposed to finish it up by midnight last night, but I'm saying midnight June 1st. That's the deadline, I think. I have 7 cantos to go. I've kind of been pushing myself through it this week, so I feel like I'm not maybe getting quite as much out of it, but I'm trying to finish it. So that is my big task for today, is to finish reading Purgatory. I've been reading this book as a morning meditation. It's just lovely, so I'll continue with that. I've also been reading this. This was going to be my maybe Midrash, but I didn't really get into that. So I'm just reading it to read it. And I think I might switch this to an afternoon read because I have other plans for June. I don't know if other people do this, but I try to have a method to my reading. So I have certain things that I read in the morning when I get up and I'm drinking my coffee. And then in the afternoon when I have my nap time, I usually read and then doze a little bit. And so I try to have something set for that. And then in the evening, I have another set reading, and then I have my Kindle read because this is backlit, so if I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't want to wake my husband up, or if for some reason I have to read in the dark, like I'm sitting with the 4-year-old while he falls asleep, then I read from my Kindle. So I set my reading up in an orderly fashion. It doesn't usually stay that way, but I at least have a loose plan of when I'm supposed to read things. Sometimes I'll drop other things and just focus on one thing because of a deadline, or I just feel like doing that. But anyway, so that's what I'm reading so far. I started reading this, Hellcat Tales. I got that far, and really I could finish this in a couple of hours if I sat down and did it. So if I have time during June, I'm going to try and finish this up. But this is just a guy recounting his memories of being in World War II as a fighter pilot. And it's very informal. He's not a writer or anything. Anyway, I'd like to finish that. And then I'm still doing this, it's been very stop and start. Hopefully we'll get more devoted to it, but I've been buddy reading this with Alba at Seriella, and I'm just up to page 237. I kind of fell asleep right away, but this is my bedtime read right now. I just have to get to bed, and if I get to bed even 15 minutes earlier, I'll have more time to read it before I fall asleep. But I absolutely love David McCullough's writing style, so it's very interesting. I'm really intrigued by the whole thing. So that's what I'm reading, and it's being carried over into June. For June specifically, oh my gosh, sorry about the sun there. For June specifically, I'm going to start reading Augustine's Confessions. This is a new thing that just happened because I just joined this newly formed book club at the Word on Fire Institute called 451. And this is the book we're going to discuss in July, and we're going to read in June. So this one, I think I'm going to make it a morning one because I'll have quiet time and I can sit and take notes. I mean, I think I'm going to read through this and underline it and really, really study it. So that's a big thing that I'm going to try and do this June. So Augustine's Confessions. And then, sorry about the sun, gosh, maybe I should sit somewhere else on the table. Anyway, I have been wanting to read this series, Walden Amazons, for a long, long time. I actually read this book aloud to my middle son, who's now 25, when he was maybe 9 or so. And then we have the whole series. So I think there's 7 or 8 books in the whole series. And my husband read the other books aloud. I don't know if he read every one, but we have the whole series on our shelves, and I've been wanting to read it for ages. And this was going to be part of my Chunkster challenge, because the only other Chunkster I've done so far this year, which a Chunkster is 800 pages or more, as defined by Alan Morton, is The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. But each of these books is about 300 pages. So if I read this series, it'll definitely be considered a Chunkster. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a British children's series, although, it's hefty writing, by Arthur Ransom, who I always mixed up with Arthur Rackham. But Arthur Rackham was the illustrator who was kind of young and kind of on the peripheries of the Oscar Wilde circle, whereas Arthur Ransom, I actually don't know that much about him. But this was published first in 1930. So I think it's going to be a perfect summer read. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is going to be my light read. And I'm going to try and read that in the first part of the month. And then the second part of the month, I'm going to read my Louisa May Alcott read, which I'm pretty proud of myself for being so steady about that. I've been reading the assigned book every month. And this one, I just happened, right after I found out about the challenge, I happened to go to a used bookstore and find this. So this is A Long Fatal Love Chase. So I've never read any of her sort of, what do they call them? Penny Dreadfuls? Is that what they were? She wrote these kind of, bestseller type, not trashy, like, to our standards, they're not trashy, but just sort of these thriller type books that were just sort of cheap and something you sell, just sensational novels. I think that's what they might have called them. Anyway, so this is the first one that I've ever read by her, so I'm excited. A Long Fatal Love Chase. It sounds pretty good. So there's that, and then on my Kindle read, since I'm not buying books this year, for myself anyway, and Kate Howe put out this thing about the Victorian read-along where they're going to read short stories by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I don't have that book, but I've discovered that you can download a lot of short stories for free on the Kindle, so that's what I'm doing. So I already read Cousin Phyllis, which was the title of the collection that she was using, the book she was using. But this one is The Poor Clare. I'm reading that one. I just downloaded it. I actually only read the first few sentences. So that'll be my next one. I've just decided that in June I'm going to devote myself to reading these free on the Kindle short stories by Elizabeth Gaskell. And it may or may not overlap a lot with what they're reading for that Victorian read-along. So that's it. So Elizabeth Gaskell short stories, Louisa May Alcott, A Long Fatal Love Chase, Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransom, The Confessions of St. Augustine from my book club, Hellcat Tales, just for something to read, to continue my study of World War II, Romans and Galatians, Centered for Meditation, and David McCullough's John Adams. And then today I'm going to finish up Dante's Purgatory. So that's it. And I wish you a happy June. I hope, the weather is good where you are. The weather's actually beautiful. It's just chilly. Anyway, so take care, and I wish you peace, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.